So salute to this young content creator right here. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and hit that like button because I ain't no hater. So make sure y'all hit my goddamn like button too. All right, run them likes up. Run them likes up. All right. So I want to react to this video. It says every shot Kendrick took at Drake at the Pop Out concert explained. So I want to react to this video. Salute to this content creator for making this dope video, and I want to give my reaction to it. So this is going to explain some of the shots that maybe y'all paid attention to and maybe y'all were not aware of. So let's see all the shots that Kendrick Lamar took at Drake during his concert. Let's get it.
The West Coast came together to pass the torch. In 2011, the West Coast came together to pass the torch to Kendrick. And 13 years later, Kendrick brought it full circle and brought out every West Coast legend to dance on Drake's grave and cement him as the king of the coast. Even getting Dr. Dre to kick off his first of many performances of Not Like Us. This line just didn't really age so well. The point of this was to show how much culture and heritage Kendrick comes from, and the legacy that he's continuing. And nothing proves that he's the king of the West Coast more than his ability to bring every West Coast artist, from Tyler to Steve Lacy to YG to Roddy Ricch to all the original members of Black Hippie, to a single show at the
There's a lot. He brought out a lot of people, man. He damn near brought the whole West Coast out there. So I respect him for doing that.
Including West Coast basketball stars like LeBron, Russ, DeMar DeRozan. And DeMar was on Toronto's Raptors, Drake's hometown team, but came home to Cali, as Kendrick said on Not Like Us. It's to show how him being the king of the West Coast means a lot more in hip-hop and in hip-hop culture than Drake being the god of the six. And it was a show that was really a history lesson about LA from the very beginning, a way to unite the city, to heal it from the tragedies of losing Kobe, Nipsey, and many others.
We done lost a lot. This was definitely like a history lesson. Definitely. I mean, because they took it back to... Even they show they just pretty much show like the whole culture of LA.
Nipsey and many others.
We done lost a lot of homies to this music shit, a lot of homies to the street shit. Unity from east side of motherfucking LA, Crips, Clubs, Power Rules, this shit is special, man.
Shining hope on the West Coast future with inspiration from its past, using moments like news samples before Tommy the Clown's performance.
Our first story looks at how the city of Los Angeles is taking a different approach to gangs during the hot summer season.
Samples that talk about his influence in LA through dance. Responsible for inventing crumping, he had a huge impact on lowering crime and violence and being an inspiration and hope for the youth. Like he said, it was about healing and bringing everyone together a lot more than it was about any back and forth disses, but Drake happened to be the common end.
See, you can tell that, you know, Kendrick wasn't so focused just on Drake. He was focused on just representing LA in a positive manner. You know what I mean? I think his main goal was just to show the world that LA can come together, and you know, if we put our beefs aside, it could be a beautiful thing. You know, everybody can come and just party and just have a good time. So of course he took his shots at Drake, but I don't think that's what his main focus was. You know what I mean? He just wanted to show the world that, you know, LA is you know, we can come together and stand together when needed. You know what I mean? So it's a beautiful thing.
Enemy that let that unity happen, letting Kendrick basically film a whole music video for the song right on stage, full of the legends who performed and popped out to the show. Like, if he uses this for the music video after this, I would not be surprised. Turning the Drake beef into such a special moment for the coast was a great way to put a bow on the whole feud and turn it into something positive. But tonight was still a show full of subtle and direct disses towards Drake's attempts at colonizing West Coast and American rap culture. First off, he did the show on Juneteenth, after calling out Drake for rapping about Kendrick trying to free the slaves through his music. This photo of everyone on stage was put under a black and white filter and projected, and Kendrick made a point out of stopping to take the picture, making me think in a way he's calling back to the To Pimp a Butterfly album cover, which had this dead white guy at the bottom, kind of
I can okay, all right, yeah, so okay, I get it.
saying that this is Drake and this is the West Coast right now. During
I can see that. I can see it.
Which was put under a black and white.
I can see that. Makes sense.
filter and projected, and Kendrick made a point out of stopping to take the picture, making me think in a way he's calling back to the To Pimp a Butterfly album cover, which had this dead white guy at the bottom, kind of saying that this is Drake and this is the West Coast right now. During his performance, he called out Drake for using AI Snoop and Pac on tailor-made freestyle, saying,
"Oh, so y'all ain't gonna let nobody disrespect the West Coast, huh? Oh, y'all ain't gonna let nobody mock and imitate our legends, huh?"
He also changed a line in Euphoria to say,
"Give me Tupac back and I might give you a little respect."
referencing the Pac ring that he showed off in the Family Matters music video. He played all the disses except for Meet the Grams, which was sad because I wanted to see how LeBron would react to Hey LeBron.
Man, I wanted him to play the Meet the Gram. Man, it was a lot of but as I said, he could have been selfish. He could have been extremely selfish and not shared that spotlight, and he could have performed all his songs. Because I wanted him to play all of the diss tracks. But I understand he couldn't do it. He couldn't do every song that, you know, everybody was expecting him to do because he shared the spotlight with a whole bunch of different people out there. But I definitely want to hear Meet the Grams. I definitely want to hear that. But, you know, maybe we will get that on round 2, you know, if there's another concert, you know. But
on Keep the Family Away, and the second half of 616 in LA, which was sad because I wanted to see how Ak would react to I Could See the Vibes on Ak, even he looking compromised. Kendrick also used the set list to rework songs from Damn, specifically DNA and Element, as Drake disses, playing them right after opening with Euphoria and emphasizing the parts that could be directed at Drake. But the disses came way before Kendrick even came on. Right before Mustard's set, we got James Brown's song, The Payback, the song Kendrick samples on King Kunta, which he performed later in the night, notably sampling the line, "I can dig rapping," which Kendrick follows with one of his first Drake disses ever.
What the fuck?
Then we got the intro to Mustard's set.
They try to replicate the slang and act like it came from their brain.
Directly referencing Drake, something Mustard backed up in his set by playing Juvenile's 1998 classic Back That Ass Up, which Drake sampled on his song Practice.
On your bag, yeah, fuck yeah, I'm a big time nigga, yeah, money.
The intro to Mustard's set also included the first reference to the beef.
The real takeaway from the Drake and Kendrick beef is that it's time for a DJ Mustard renaissance.
Sampling this TikTok, where this girl said what needed to happen after the beef was a renaissance of DJ Mustard. In other words, a renaissance of West Coast sound and West Coast hits.
When every song on the radio was on a Mustard beat, we were a proper country. It was happier times, the closest we have ever been to true unity.
She made a pretty good analysis.
Now, I ain't gonna lie, I didn't pay attention to all that shit because I was turned up. But now that I'm watching this video and going back to what happened last night, it's like, oh yeah, it was a lot more jabs Kendrick was taking at Drake than I really paid attention to, because last night I was out there. You know, I was just turned up. I'm screaming and yelling. But yeah, Kendrick definitely took a lot more jabs at Kendrick more than we actually, you know, paid attention to. Because I was turned up last night. But all this stuff starting to make sense. It's like, oh, okay. I was like, I didn't really peep that. Interesting. Okay, I see it. I get it.
Directly referencing Drake, something Mustard backed up in his set by playing Juvenile's 1998 classic Back That Ass Up, which Drake sampled on his song Practice.
On your bag, yeah, fuck yeah, I'm a big time nigga, yeah, money.
The intro to Mustard's set also included the first reference to the beef.
The real takeaway from the Drake and Kendrick beef is that it's time for a DJ Mustard renaissance.
Sampling this TikTok, where this girl said what needed to happen after the beef was a renaissance of DJ Mustard. In other words, a renaissance of West Coast sound and West Coast hits.
When every song on the radio was on a Mustard beat, we were a proper country. It was happier times, the closest we have ever been to true unity.
She made a pretty good analysis there, because I feel like this show is going to be the reason that West Coast hits are going to be back on the radio for years to come, with Not Like Us hitting 2 million units sold tonight. During Mustard's set, he brought out YG, even though Drake name dropped him as being one of his ties to the streets on Family Matters.
You know who really bang except my nigga YG.
Drake was listing off The Game, Chris Brown, YG as his connects in LA that would keep him safe, and YG coming out in the show and then coming back out for Not Like Us shows that if that was ever true, it's just not anymore. I think it's also interesting that he brought Tyler out, when, if you remember, Tyler brought Drake out in an LA festival, and Drake got booed for half the set. The show was also partly produced by Dave Free, showing that despite the rumors that Drake tried to spread in Family Matters, Kendrick still stands by his childhood friend. And let's be honest, if Drake tried to do a show like this in the 6, he'd have to bring out Toronto all-stars like Smiley, Sheen from Jimmy Neutron, the dude from Wagwan Delilah, he could bring out Nav, and The Weeknd if he wasn't also beefing with him. I really want to see him try and sell tickets to some shit like that. Let me know what I missed down below, and as always, subscribe for quick, straightforward analysis of music, video,
Yeah. This was I didn't even catch all the stuff that he caught in his video. So this was a pretty interesting video on things that I didn't even catch because I was too turned up. I was yelling, screaming, dancing. I was drinking. So yeah, I like the video. It's a good video. I like, so that's just some of the things, right? That's just some of the things that you might have missed during the performance, which I'm sure there's going to be some more people that's going to break down, some other things that I missed. But I was just too turned up. I was yelling, screaming, jumping, singing. I was just in the moment. But now we're going to get to academics.